Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I want to show you how to use the basic widgets in Elementor. So Elementor is a WordPress plugin. It's an add-on design builder, and it basically helps us take a little more layout and functionality to our page more than something like Gutenberg by default does. There's some other products like WP Bakery and things like that do similar things, but we choose Elementor as our preferred design builder, and I'm going to show you a little bit about why that is. So when I open a page in Elementor, edit with Elementor, it brings up my website theme. You see our kind of header up here, and then down here is the footer. Well, right in here in the middle is the body content, and you'll see here it says to drag widgets, and then I also have this option to do templates. That's in a different video, but in the widgets, you can do multiple things. I can set up like an actual structure before I even start dragging over my widgets. By default, it has just the main, no divisions. If I want to create a side-by-side column or three, there's a lot of different options there, but we're not going to touch on those here in this particular video. I want to focus more on these basic widgets. Now, the way the widgets are organized is we have our favorites, which right now I don't have any set to favorite. We have basic widgets, and then there's the Pro version. So Pro is an upgrade to Elementor if you wanted to buy the license. You have a lot of different options there. And we, in particular, if you buy a website with us or whatever, and we install Elementor, of course, you get the Pro version through our license affiliation. But right now we're going to focus on the basic widgets. So these would be available in the free Elementor plugin options. And we're just going to go through some of what these do. So you notice here there are 10 basic widgets that we can use. The first one that we have is called intersection. So if I just click and drag that over, what that allows us to do is actually create. So by default, it creates a section, right? We have our main section here, and then what's considered the intersection. Now, right now, you'll see we have two little plus signs. And the idea with these is that I can now add another widget in this. So the intersection is just a layout. It's just an option for us to have a little more control over the layout of the page. So in this case, what this is mostly used for is if we're going to have maybe an image on the left-hand side and maybe some content about that image on the right, or vice versa. That's when that's most commonly used. So we're going to go ahead and do that and show you some options. Now, with the intersection, I also have the ability, if I click to edit the intersection, there's a lot of different options here on how much space to add. You see like the spacing in between here, the vertical and alignment and what to do with this, the content width. Are we doing a full width or a boxed width? A lot of different options, and we're not going to get too far into every one of those, but we'll dive more into those individually. But just to kind of give you a better idea of the overall layout, just want to focus on some of the basics here. Okay, so if I go back here, the other thing I can do is I can easily add. So edit column, I can add a new column as well. So if I hit the add new column, you'll see it actually then divides it into three. So I can make really these structured layouts with this intersection. That's the purpose of this intersection option. I'm going to go ahead and just delete the extra column here. All right, we're just going to have the two. So now I can pull in other widgets. So I'm going to next do an image. Okay, so if I pull in the image widget, whether I make it in the section below it or whether I want to pull that in, I'm going to go ahead and pull that in here. You'll see by default it just adds a nice little placeholder. Okay, so I have some options here on what I'm going to do. I have alignments, where I want it in respect to the actual column that it's in. Do I want the caption, right? Am I going to do that, or am I going to link it to something, right? So that's another option where I can have it click to link to a specific URL or a PDF or something like that, or I can just link it to the media file, which means it'll just pop up bigger. So we're going to see what that looks like here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on choose image. I'm going to choose any image here. We'll go to insert media, and you'll see now it inserted that particular image. Okay. Now let's choose a different one that's going to fill up the space here so we can just better see that. There we go. Oh, try that one more time. Might have gone a little too fast here. Insert media. There we go. Okay. So now I have this image in here. So I can choose, do I want it to be the large size image? Do I want it to be kind of a medium, right? A little bit smaller. I can make it smaller this way. So I have some options here on what I want to do with that particular image. Now we want to be careful because of course, this one's 150 by 150, which made it a square, which cut off some of what we want. So we just want to kind of keep it something a little more reasonable, but we have a lot of options here is the point. So we can make it the full size that we want it. Again, we have alignment options, caption, and then linking. I can actually link it to the file itself. So let's say it was like a demo option, and I wanted someone to see it bigger. Well, now I can click on it and it opens the image larger. That's all just by selecting this simple little link media file, or I can go to a custom URL and paste in a link as well. Okay, so we're just going to leave that as it is. We'll go ahead and link to the media file. That's great. We'll X out of that. All right, so I've got my image over here. Now I want to do, let's say, the text editor option. So I'm going to drag that over here. And you'll see this is just a standard text editor. So I could put whatever content I want in here. You'll see a lot of controls. This is kind of the original WordPress text editor. So I can bold things, italics, I can put in a lot of different things. I can do little block quotes. I mean, there's a lot of different options in here. I can even add an image in here. I can add media in here as well, but I've got an image here, so I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do here, we'll just do like 0.1. Let's make this a bolded list here. Where's my option? There we go, bolded list. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So you see how we can kind of do that here with just the 0.4, 0.5. All right, so now I've got something that looks pretty, pretty balanced here. That's great. I've got some information. And so now I've got my image widget that I've shown you. I've got the text widget, a lot of different options there. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a heading. Okay, so now I can do a heading either, if you notice the highlighted blue line, right above the image, right above the text, or I can do it above both. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and use this heading widget and say, this is the best deal you're going to get. Okay. So from here, again, of course, I have options, right? I can center it if I want that in the center. HTML tag, this basically lets it know what kind of heading do we want it to be. So if you're following, SEO strategies and things like that, and it's the top of the page and you want it to be the main thing, well, we'll call that the H1, right? We'll make that the main thing. But if it's part of a subsection where we're doing it, this heading, and then we're going to have another heading, and we're going to have another heading, we'd want to use an H2, for example, in that particular case. So it's really up to you. In this case, we'll go ahead and leave it as the H1. All right, now I can also make it a link to go somewhere, just like anything else. I can change the styles and the colors and do lots of different things here. Again, we're not going to get into too many of those details, just want to show you the basics of each of these widgets. So we've now got the heading widget, we've got the intersection, which you'll see here. We've used the image widget and the text editor. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next basic widget here. We've got video. So video is a really cool one because it makes it very simple to embed, let's say, like a YouTube video. So you'll see by default, it does this nice full screen. I can choose where it's coming from out of these multiple options, YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, or if it's self-hosted. Most of the time it's YouTube. Now I can actually just go to youtube.com and we'll go to like our YouTube channel, Ballen Brands. So youtube.com/Ballen Brands. Let's say I want to take this particular video. Hello, Jeff Helvin here with, and we're going to go here. We're going to click share, and I'm just going to, let's see. That was my desktop share. Sorry, wrong one. I'm going to share this particular Ballen Brands video. Let's go to this one. Add to queue. We're going to click on it. All right. Now we've got our share link that I'm looking for. So we'll go ahead and click on share. We'll hit copy. All right. Now I can just close that out. It's all I need. And when I paste that in here, you'll see what it'll do is it's now going to pull in the actual video, right? Just the nice thumbnail, whatever's set as the thumbnail. It's got a little YouTube channel thing in here. And that's it. Like, it's all set to go. Now I can do things like I can set a start time to like middle of the video if I want to, or an end time, so I can actually control those things. I can autoplay it, mute it, loop it. I mean, so many different things I can do here. But really, this is all you need, right? Just drag over the widget, paste in the URL, and you've got your video right here on the page. So whether this is with blog posts or pages, I mean, it's so simple. Just makes it super easy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and leave that right there. Now, always to get back to widgets, we can just click here on the little this little grid, or if I just click this little plus. Oh, sorry, that's the structure. Forgot about that. So just click these little widgets here, and then we've got that. So now let's say I want to do a button. I'm going to link to a page or link to another page. So I'm going to drag over button. Okay. This is so simple, guys. I mean, again, it's funny because it seems silly simple, but at the same time, these are such purposeful, useful things that we're being asked for all the time. How do I make a button? How do I add a video? I mean, it's all like, that's one of the things I love about Elementor is that it just has the basics right here for you. So what type of button is it, right? Let's say it's a warning button. I mean, lots of different things we can do with all that. What does the text say? You'll see by default it says click here. We'll change it to get it now. What's the link supposed to be? I have link options. Do I want it to open in a new window or not? I mean, just again, so simple. So we'll make this just go to the home page just as a sample. Okay, what alignment do I want? Again, left, center, right, justified. So we'll go ahead and center that one. Do I want it bigger? Sure, just make it large, extra large, right? I mean, again, so simple, just easy to read, easy to see. Icon spacing would be if, you know, where these other pieces, I mean, so you could play around with all these different options. Again, styles and advanced, change the colors, change the margins, what it does when people click it. I mean, so much stuff, but just in its most simplest form. Again, just drag it over, change the text, and pop it in. Easy peasy. All right, so let's go back to widgets. We've done button. Now we're going to go to divider. So divider would be if we're trying to create kind of a section. So these kind of just lay right on top of each other, for example. I can just add a divider. I can drag that in and just create this little space. So you see that? Just a little line just to kind of break up the space a little bit more. Now if I preview that, it'll be a little easier to see. Oh, got my pop-up window blocked, so I always got to choose that if you have that setting. But when I preview that, you'll see here, that's all it did. Just create a little divider just to break up the space if you want. Now, of course, just like with anything else, we've got options. Do we want it to be black? Do we want the width to be 100% or 50%? Maybe we only want it halfway in the middle, and then we want to center it, right? Again, lots of different options there. Solid, doubled, dotted. I mean, there's like so many things that we can do. Whatever it is that you're looking to create here, I mean, it's right. Zigzag. Let's do a zigzag line. Why not? Right? So simple. Just right there. Easy to go. Change the styles. Do I want it thicker? Do I want it lighter? Different things. I mean, again, all of these options built right in here. You don't have to know programming, advance this, or study that. It's just a matter of getting in and tweaking and playing with what you want in there. You know, the only warning we ever give with these types of things is the more styles and the more things that you load up on a page, the more code is used to create it, to make it look that way, mobile responsive and those different things. So we don't want to get crazy with it or else your page load time is going to be super heavy. But again, some of these basic points are just really easy to utilize here and just plug in wherever you need them. All right. Then there's a spacer. Let's say I just think these two are a little too close together. Well, I can't just like, if I drag, it's going to move it to a whole new section, but I just want to give it a little more space. So I can drag in this little spacer, and then I can specify how much space I want it to be. So see how when I click this, it just goes nice, and there you go. So now I can lay it out, I can space it out, give it a little more room to breathe, right? Because I just want a little more. You can do one on the top, one on the bottom. You can adjust the padding. I mean, all of that's built in right here in Elementor. All right, so now we've got Google Maps. So check this one out. This one's really cool. So I'm going to drag over Google Maps. And what this does is going to take out this like default thing here. But check this out. So it actually asks for a location. Okay, so if I wanted to do like Las Vegas, for example, then there you go. It's pulling in Las Vegas for us right there. Now, if I want to get into more specifics, so let's go to edit Google Maps. So we've got a location here. We've got all that. Maybe I want to get into something more like an actual address. So if I go to, let's go to Ballen Brands here. So 1101 Colorado Street, right? Let's just put that in there, see what happens. Okay, pop that in there, and look at that. So it's got, you know, a few little things that are here, like different things that are around here. But these are, you know, if we're pulling in a certain address to our business, anything like that, we can just pop that map right in. I mean, again, just so simple, right? It's just right there, a couple little configuration options, and we're good to go. Maps on the page. So think about your contact page, anything like that, you can have that right on there. All right, and then the last one is the icon. So icon is actually usually used in conjunction with something else. So for example, if I wanted to do a, I'm going to do an icon, and then maybe I'm going to do a little text below the icon. All right, but the icon here is set for, like, let's say I wanted to do reviews, or I wanted to show, look at the icon library. Look at all the different things that we can plug in. And we can color these, make them bigger, smaller, whatever, but these are useful on, you know, in particular widgets. Like, let me show you an example on our website. So let's go to, let's say, our professional, pull this up here. There we go. So I'm going to go to business websites, and I'm going to click on, or I'm going to scroll down actually, right? So here's what we offer. So that's these icons, right? Just nice little images. They're not actually images. They're more like text, or they're icons. And so what this does is reads differently for the search engines, but you'll see how nice it is just to be able to kind of plug that in, give it a little more, you know, layout, a little more design, some color, give it some pop. That's what the icons are. So you can choose from all these that are already in there if you wanted to. You can filter by name, you can search. Let's do like social, for example. Well, they're not called social. I can do Facebook, right? Here's all the different Facebook ones. I can do Instagram. Here's some Instagram ones, like all of these different options. And so there's really just a lot for us to choose from, work with. Whatever it is that we want to pull in, we can. You know, comments, leave your comment, right? And then we can insert that little comment thing. Let's do, we love to get your feedback. You know, leave us your message. All right, perfect. There we go. So that's it. You see it? Like, again, we can have that in there. I can center this. I can, you know, lay it out. When I preview this, let's try that again. So you'll see, by default, we've already got it plugged in here. It's all mobile responsive. You know, by default, these things will kind of grow and expand based on the screen size. They'll stack. It's all built in for you right here with Elementor. Not much else you have to worry about or do. You can get more sophisticated. You can look at the different options for mobile versus desktop and control this title and edit those things. So if you get into the advanced stuff, it's all available for you as well. But again, this is just kind of show those basic features on what you can do. In another video, we explore some of the pro features, how those play out for us. But again, laying out a page, giving you some design options, make it easy to link to things, you know, click over to other pages, add buttons, horizontal rules, all of that stuff is just right here for you, right here at your fingertips without any programming knowledge needed. So if you need any help with that or have any questions, by all means, you can reach out to us at team@ballenbrands.com.